Revelation 21.
The Book of Revelation. Also, Revelation. Also, I know we haven't seen the man speaking yet, but I'm already sniffing an overdone evil preacher in an apocalypse hiding behind religion to do evil cliche, exacerbated by the fact that out of all the scripture to put into his sermon, he went with the big book of apocalyptic imagery written by a man in exile.
The tabernacle of God.
Hi there, viewers. A quick note from one of the TVSins writers here. What is this? I wanted to make a joke about God's tabernacle sounding rude, but Aaron, the narrator, hey, that's me, said it was just my mind being in the gut, because it was, and I should leave it alone. So as revenge, I'm going to make him say tabernacle 10 times. Tabernacle, 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 tabernacle. Look, I'm not Ron Burgundy here. I have free will, and the point was, even if it does sound rude, you're not sinning the show. You're fired. Also, I have no writers. I make up all of this on my own.
And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes.
Kids, roll flagmercials.
The ground is too cold to dig. We'll bury your father in the spring.
Isn't cremation a better option all around? They get to have their memorial, and you get to hide the evidence of all the secret cannibaling by just giving the family an urn of ashes. Everyone wins. Wait.
How much do we have left?
Keep the whole town on rations. Maybe a week.
Having a conversation about dwindling food supplies out in the open and risking your subservient flock quickly transforming into a riotous mob. Ah! Stop showing me this disgusting bloody wound. I have enough context clues from the director and editor in this scene without the makeup department feeling the need to flex as well. Ellie, you ass. Why are you torturing this poor man with dried jerky goodness that he can't possibly reach? What's he gonna do? Tongue it into his mouth? Hope that the rat from Endgame nudges it in there? Pray that it decomposes and gets absorbed into his skin?
I'm gonna be right back, okay?
Don't tell Joel you're going to be right back if you plan on hunting. You're going to give the guy an anxiety attack as a quick potty break turns into, I'll see you in a few hours because I'm going to hike through the woods and kill a deer.
Well, what do you think?
I don't see anybody.
And I'm just going to assume that gunshot we heard was Bigfoot cracking a knuckle.
Medicine? Like for infections.
I understand Ellie needs to specify antibiotics, but in a world where infected is associated with the fungapocalypse, I'd be more direct about the origin of the infection and not leave quite so much room for interpretation.
It's hard to trust strangers, I know, but I honestly mean you no harm.
But if a stranger says they honestly mean you no harm, then you can totally trust them. And I honestly won't sin this for being something only sketchy villains say.
And for what it's worth, there's room for you in our group if you want.
You're inviting me to your hunger club? Thanks.
Ellie would be served with some fava beans and a nice Chianti at TVSins.
Is this some weird cult thing?
Well, you sort of kind of got me there. I am a preacher, but just pretty standard Bible stuff.
Yeah, but if that pretty standard Bible stuff is including the Old Testament, we're talking about slavery, stoning women for premarital sex, and plenty other cornerstones that make most cults look like enthusiastic bloggers. This isn't as reassuring as you think it is, David.
There's no such thing as luck. No, I believe everything happens for a reason.
I'd love for this to become a 4-hour philosophical treatise exploring the concepts of divine providence, free will, determinism, and random chance. But I honestly don't think any of you would want that, even if you think you might. I'll just say this. If your go-to tenet is everything happens for a reason, you better be prepared to give account for some pretty nasty shit you just hand-waved away.
It does. I can prove it to you.
The story David shares is about being led to Ellie and Joel after they killed one of his people and is indistinguishable from luck. So no, he can't prove it.
James, lower the gun.
And of course, James turns up at the perfect time to hear this story and be outraged, and at a perfect time to catch Ellie off guard.
She didn't kill anybody.
She has, and he couldn't have possibly known one way or the other.
I know you're not with a group.
You actually don't know David. For all you know, Ellie and Joel were scavengers for a large group. You weren't even there. Stop making characters omniscient just so you can dismiss possible plot holes.
I can protect you.
If you're trying to get someone to trust you, maybe don't say things Kylo Ren would say. Oh, wait a second. You don't know who that is because the apocalypse killed the sequels. Hey, maybe there's a silver lining to this timeline after all.
Joel, where the f do I put this?
Ellie gets unbelievably lucky here. I know that injecting a penicillin shot into the wound sounds logical, but I still feel like Ellie took the old stab in the dark adage a bit too literally, showing us every disgustingly excruciating, purulent, skin-piercing second of this. Yes, let's leave the t-shirt covered in infected blood over the infected wound you just risked your life to disinfect.
What is it?
Venison.
Just f***ing say deer. You're not presenting it to Gordon Ramsay.
Big one.
Bringing a dead animal to a place where people are actively eating dinner. Take the damn thing to a side door and stop swinging your around while everyone's eating. Don't give the horse snow. Melt it so the horse has water. Eating snow without any other form of water actually dehydrates you and forces the body to use more water to melt the snow and regulate your internal temperature. I know the horse is going to die in a few minutes anyway, but come on, Ellie.
This man's not already dead. He's dangerous.
Which makes me wonder why you waited so long to pursue them both. Either Joel is dead and Ellie has no reason to hang around overnight, or you're giving Joel time to heal instead of attacking when you know he's weak. Also, nothing says being careful like staying grouped together and walking down the middle of the street.
I don't mean to question your sense of mercy, David. We bring that girl back with us. She's just another mouth to feed.
Revealing that you're about to do a thing by starting your sentence saying you don't intend to do the thing.
If we leave her out here, she'll die. Yeah, maybe that's God's will.
I will silence you with my silence, because my silence is much more powerful than your very valid point. But really, the answer is that these guys could easily hunt and kill Ellie, but the show needs to keep her alive, so we get the big baby girl moment at the end. I'm not saying it's not worth it. I just want us to be honest about it.
I'm gonna lead them away from you. But if anybody makes it down here, you f***ing kill them. You got it?
Let's talk about Ellie's plan. She's leaving Joel pretty much defenseless while she runs off to get captured. The men don't know what house they're in, so why not barricade yourselves in, hide, and buy time for Joel to wake up? Even if they do find you, you're missing out on the perfect opportunity to home alone some shit. Ellie's galloping away at full speed, and this asshole just so happens to be in the perfect position to take the horse out.
Do it.
Listen, ammo has to be scarce for everyone in the future, but especially so for this isolated cannibal immunity. So is punctuating your intentions with a rifle shot the best way to use said ammo?
You so hungry for vengeance? Deliver it.
Judging their bloodlust when the only reason you're pushing so hard to keep Ellie alive is so you can make her into a child bride and or aperitif. Joel not only survives Ellie's first aid, but is also strong enough to stand up and kill this man after one night's rest.
I started worrying you wouldn't wake up.
Why? You're literally gonna eat her.
Why don't we just start with your name?
Eat really has a lot to learn about buying time to escape by being nicer to your captors.
Timothy?
Oh,
Joel finding the strength to take out Timothy was so ridiculous the camera refused to even film it. In fact, it's so ridiculous that I can feel Grogu reaching from The Mandalorian into this series to help Joel out.
It's okay. I believe him.
Wasting what little strength you've regained on a blunt force instrument for murder instead of just using the knife again. He gets found out because the people butchers left a f***ing ear on the floor next to the cage? Do you want ants? Because this is how you get ants. And exposed as a cannibal.
You're an animal.
Well, yes, we all are. That's sort of the point.
Yes, asshole, but you know that's not what she meant. She's fully aware that not all animals are cannibals, just as we're well aware that you can have a show set after the apocalypse that doesn't contain Bible-thumping dictators. It just seems to happen a lot.
but what was I supposed to do? Let them starve?
No, but I feel like we might be skipping the many steps between let them starve and feed them to each other.
Didn't he take another man's life to save yours?
He was defending himself.
He was defending you.
I don't think that helps your argument, David. Joel was killing someone to protect a little girl, and what you're doing is killing someone so you can eat them. Forgive me if I lean towards favoring the guy that doesn't hold Hannibal Lecter as a spiritual leader.
You remind me of me. You're a natural leader. You're smart, loyal.
You're getting all that from a fireside chat and her refusal to share her name? Yes, it happens to be true, but how does he know that? Did he get screeners for the first 7 episodes?
What does cordyceps do? Is it evil? No, it loves.
Not quite sure I've seen enough evidence thus far to believe this fungus is capable of love. And no, I refuse to include that freakily erotic makeout session in episode 2.
Think of what we could do together, as strong as we are.
No offense, David, but Vader's join me was a little more persuasive.
That looks pretty real to me.
Hey, Troy Baker, thanks for calling me back. Listen, sorry you lost out on the role of Joel to Pedro Pascal, but listen, we still want you in the show. And I've got a really great part for you. Okay, so check this out. You're a cannibal that gets killed by Ellie with a cleaver because your friend was dumb enough to leave a knife right next to her unrestrained hand. Pretty cool, right? Troy? Ellie, why are you wasting time with the log? You've got a room full of windows and chairs. Smash window, exit, escape. What's Fedra teaching these kids? Wow, Ellie threw that log in the one spot it would catch something on fire. Talk about lucky. Talk about everything happening for a reason. David seems totally chill with the fact that this lodge made of wood is on fire, as if he knows Grogu is on his way from knocking out Timothy to prevent this fire from spreading.
I know you're not infected. No one infected fights this hard to stay alive.
Man, this is just an episode of David making very confident assessments based on all knowledge. He's one proclamation short of becoming the Dunning-Kruger of post-apocalyptic cult leaders.
You don't know what I could have given you!
Oh, I think she knows exactly what you could have given her, David. You made that abundantly and creepily clear. Exodus 22:6, was that ceiling beam soaked in kerosene? Listen, it is hard for me to hoop and cheer at the sight of a 14-year-old brutally bludgeoning a man's face with a meat cleaver, even if said man is a child-seducing cannibal. Having said that, Bella Ramsey sells this so well, I have to acknowledge the voice inside me that is currently screaming, yeah, that asshole up, Ellie. Turn his face into pulpy potato dauphinois. So when David said,
There's no way out, Ellie. The doors are locked.
he meant all the doors are locked other than this fire escape that Ellie will conveniently find now that the danger's past. It's lies like this that give the church a bad rep, David. Yes, cannibalism too, but no one likes a liar.
No! Get off of me!
Damn it, Joel. You just recovered from one near-death injury, so why are you so eager for Ellie to give you another? Was the penicillin high that good?
It's okay, baby girl. I got you. I got you.
They did it! They did the thing! Oh, they did the thing. But also, do you maybe want to save the heartfelt reunion for when you aren't still dangerously close to the people whose population you've decreased by half a dozen, whose leader you've killed, and whose home is burning down thanks to you? Also, are there no guards in this town that would come investigate the gunshot, screaming, the building on fire? Or is the show implying that Grogu killed all of them too?
You're a great f***ing talker, but you're a shit cook.
I sense doubt in there.
I find your lack of faith disturbing. Too much human meat.
And the very same goes for Ezekiel. Which brings us back to our starting point, the 9 tenets of constancy.
Perhaps you could toss me a Band-Aid or some anti-bacterial cream. I fear it might be gangrenous.
You look like a rube. A well-scrubbed, hustling rube with a little taste. Good nutrition's giving you some length of bone, but you're not more than one generation from poor white trash.
Do atheists go to hell?
No.
How about people who say they are not religious, but they are spiritual?
Straight to hell. To the boiler room of hell. All the way down.
Hans, are we the baddies?